All right, welcome everybody. This is week 3 of junior studies. This is day 1. We're going to go over the first assignment for this week and then give you some time to work. Tomorrow we'll go over the second assignment and then give some more time to work. All right, I hope everybody had a great weekend. All right, so you're going to want to have Canvas open. Okay, so we're going to go over into modules. And remember on the homepage, especially if you're new, I know they did some leveling this weekend and stuff like that, just to kind of give you an overview of how I run class and stuff. So every Monday and Friday, I will post a kind of what to do, right, on your small group day. And this is just a way to keep you on track and make sure that you're good. So make sure, you know, that you did the week 1, that was just the intro module. Last week, right, we had the digital citizenship. So there was the your tracks assignment and the confirmation bias assignment. So those were due last Friday. If you haven't gotten those in, or like I said, if you switch classes and you did those assignments, you should have them saved. Go ahead and just resubmit them for me. And I will grade them, and that way we can get your grade, because these are really the first grades in the grade book. Okay, so obviously not having those in the grade book, that's going to hurt your grade. So if you did them last week in a different class, submitted them, go ahead and just resubmit them for me. There's no penalty or anything, but that way we can get your grade up to speed. Okay. Remember, every Monday and Friday I'm available from 9 to 11. So I know some teachers, they only do it on Monday or Friday, just depending on the class, but I just have it open to all students. So 9 to 11 a.m. You're welcome to come. There's the code if you have any questions or anything like that. And then remember, I do record the lessons, and you can find those playbacks in the live session module. So let's go to modules. So this is where I was saying the lessons and recordings. If you ever miss class, or if you need to go back over something, maybe I went a little too fast, or you feel like you know, missed a part of the class or something like that, then you can find those playbacks. So for this week, I'll be posting today's here and then Wednesdays there. But you can see, like, from last week, I posted there's day 1 and day 2. And then it'll list, you know, again, what's due and when it's closing. So every Friday is kind of the due date. So kind of think of that every Friday. So we work on it Tuesday, Wednesday, and just want to make sure it's in by Friday. Monday's kind of that catch-up day, or if you have other classes that you need to work on. Hopefully, my goal is that you hopefully have enough time to get it all done in class, and maybe even have some extra time, okay? All right, let's go to modules. And there's week 1, week 2. So again, if you just joined the class, but you came from another junior studies, go ahead and resubmit those 2 assignments for me, okay? And I'll get those graded so that your grade is up to date, okay? Oh, sorry, right here, your tracks and confirmation bias. Okay, so this week we're looking at kind of, last week we looked at part 1 of digital citizenship. What does it mean to be a good digital citizen? So we talked about, you know, things that we post, right, and how that can negatively or positively impact us. We talked about cognitive bias, confirmation bias, how if we already believe something or lean on a certain topic a certain way, if we see a headline, even if it's false, we have a tendency just to believe it or want to believe it. So about really trying to check ourselves and make sure that we really are reading multiple sources, that we're reading the other side's argument. Do they have any legitimate points that puts holes maybe in my belief? And that doesn't mean I'm a weak person. It just means I'm really trying to be a truth seeker, not a right seeker. Do you see what I mean? And we're all guilty of that. So the more we can be aware, this will really help with civility, right, between the 2 extremes. When you think about politics, or you think about social issues and how people feel. And so that's all right. The more that we can work together, as far as, like, if I feel one way about an issue, you feel another way, but I'm willing to hear your side, you're willing to hear my side. I'm willing to be like, oh, okay, I don't agree with all your points, but you did make a couple good points. Like, those need to be considered, and vice versa. That's going to create a lot more civil conversation and peace between groups, that, okay, we might not agree on everything, but it's okay to maybe not have complete consensus on a topic, as long as we are having our freedoms, right? And that's something that's really important. You talk about, you know, in U.S. history and government and stuff that we have in this country. Okay, so this week we're looking at digital citizenship part 2. So effective communication and digital security lesson overview. So we're going to look at the rewarding relationships, friendships and boundaries, your privacies, and then lunch line dilemma. That's where we're going to do that on tomorrow, okay, on Wednesday. So talking versus texting. All right. How many of you, so pull up your emojis. All right. So if you're looking down at kind of the center bottom of your screen, you'll see different emojis, and you'll see this smile, send a reaction. Click on that, and then it'll put out all of your different emojis that you can use, okay? Give me a thumbs up if you tend to communicate more via text. Give me thumbs down if you tend to communicate more through voice, like talking, like calling somebody or some kind of live chat. Which is your primary? Do you text more or do you talk on the phone more? Okay, so it's like a couple of you talk on the phone. A lot of you text. Oh, there's quite a few then that, okay, so maybe 50-50 or 2/3 or something like that. Phone, okay. All right, yep, so you can find those emojis if you're looking there at the very bottom, and you'll see a smiley face one. If you click on it, then you'll have all those options of different emojis and stuff to use. Both? Okay, I would say I'm probably both. You know, my older family members, I more talk to on the phone. My friends and things like that, I think I text more. But I do see them, like they live in town, so I do see them. But like if I'm not with them, I tend to probably text more than phone call with them. So this lesson is kind of weighing, you know, like how we've shifted, because this is a relatively new thing. Texting just, you know, in the last 20 years. Texting became a thing when I was like a freshman, sophomore in college. I remember we would text in class, and this was back when you had the keypad where you had to, like, you know, the 1 through 9. So each one represented like 4 or 5 letters, and you'd have to, like, you know, get A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, you know, but you got like really fast at it with your thumbs and stuff. So you didn't have like a full keyboard. So it was a little tricky. So you tended to keep your text pretty short. But I remember when we actually started texting and like in class, like, oh, where are we going to go to lunch today, or things like that. And it was so cool because the only way before that was you would send notes, you know, during class, like you'd pass a note or something during class. So so it's really been a big shift in our communication in the last, you know, 20 years. So have you ever wondered if you have a better relationship with friends or loved one through text-based or voice-based communication? Psychologists suggest that voice-based communication, such as phone call, face-to-face, strengthen connection and foster deeper relationships. However, many people still prefer texting or chatting on social media. It's essential to reflect in our communication habits and consider if you're favoring one mode or another. So I think it's pretty easy to see how face-to-face over the phone is going to create that deeper connection versus a text where you can get to it when you want. Often it's impersonal, it's shorter, it's harder to do the follow-up, right? You can choose when you're engaging or not, or when you're face-to-face, it's active engagement. So there's definitely, it's pretty easy to see how one would lead to deeper connection than the other. Consider how you communicate with your loved ones through text and voice. Although psychologists suggest utilizing voice-based communication is stronger, the choice ultimately depends on your preference. Remember that leveraging your voice can assist in establishing a more profound relationship. Think about it even in the classroom, you know what I mean? If, you know, it is easier probably to develop a deeper relation in person, you know, with your teachers and other students. Online, we certainly develop a relationship, but it is harder even though we're online and you're hearing me talk, when you're not that face-to-face interaction and having the two-way communication. Text can benefit interpersonal relationships, particularly in trauma, distance connections, and emotional support. Text can be an effective coping mechanism, helping individuals with frustration, loneliness, and other challenging emotions. So there's definitely a place for texting. Sometimes it's just more appropriate. You have a lot of things going on. Maybe you're in a bad mood, or you've gone through something really traumatic, or you're having a really hard time. And so you're just not able to do that face-to-face. It's too much. It's too intense. So a text can be a way to show support, or to reach out to someone, or to let someone know what's going on without having to relive and re-talk about what you just went through. So there certainly can be a place for where text maybe is preferable. So friendships and boundaries, investing time and effort into stronger relationships in a lifetime is essential. You know, being genuine, supportive, open is crucial to building those long-lasting relationships, okay? Establishing boundaries is also important with especially online relationships, okay? Utilizing sources like effective communication and conflict resolution to navigate challenging dynamics. Prioritize genuine interactions for those fulfilled connections, both online and in person. So it's not saying that it's bad to have online connections, but as much as you can, you know, if it is online, then FaceTime, or, you know, try to get face-to-face, maybe over Zoom or something like that, or talking on the phone, or if they are in the same town, meet in person, because it is always going to lead to a deeper connection than just having a relationship based on text, you know, whether that's through actual text message or social media messaging. So feelings and options, identify Who are the different people involved in the scenario? What dilemma or challenge are they facing? Feel. What do you think each person in the dilemma is feeling? Why might the situation be hard or challenging for them? Imagine options of how the situation could be handled. Come up with as many as possible. There's no one right answer. Then choose which option might lead to the most positive outcome, where most people feel good or taken care of. Say, thinking more about the idea you choose for handling the situation. What could the person be involved? So this is like a good kind of steps that you can follow when maybe you're in an argument with someone, or someone's just had a hard day, or there's an important event. So there's something going on and you or both people, right, are experiencing emotion. This could be positive or negative. Trying to identify what is the best way to respond. Should I go to them in person? Should we talk on the phone? Should I send them a text? Should I send them a card? Like, what's the best way to play out whatever this dynamic is or the situation is? Okay, we'll watch this quick video and then we'll go over the instructions for the worksheet.
My favorite platform is usually Instagram.
Probably Snapchat and regular iMessage on iPhones.
We text a lot.
Texting, text message, text or group chat with my friends.
Group text messages.
Facebook Messenger.
They're always on it. I'm always with my friends, but when I'm not with them, I'm always talking to them on social media. I definitely say sometimes it's beneficial because you go home and you might have had an argument with your sibling or your mom and you just need to talk to your friend, or you might need help with homework or something.
Being able to always be just like a phone call or text message away from each other allows us to kind of establish a relationship that's closer.
Reaching out to the person right when you need them, so that you don't have to wait until you see them at school to talk to them. That definitely brings us closer.
Texting is like an easier alternative. Take out your phone and communicate with someone.
There are definitely things that maybe I wouldn't tell anyone in real life that I feel more comfortable telling them on social media or online, because it's not the same as saying it to someone's face as it is to text it.
I know that my friends, or not even just my friends, but my family or anybody I can talk to, I know that they are available to me.
Yeah, I never really feel depressed or anything like that, just because there's always somebody to talk to and always somebody that's there for you. That's kind of a good thing about social media.
I could not imagine what it would be like if I couldn't contact them so quickly. Our lives are so integrated with social media and contacting other people that I don't think I could imagine not contacting them.
There can be an invasion of space and privacy over not just social media, but all forms of modern technology. We have each other's location 24/7.
Yes, there's been people that have contacted me for multiple times that have just been constant and annoying, that have just gone on my nerves.
If there's someone that is constantly reaching out to you and you don't want that person to be contacting you, that can be irritating and it's kind of a hassle.
I got my phone taken away from my friend texting me too much. I had to turn it off completely. I had to turn it off when I was in class because it just started making so much noise.
I've had a friend who's contacted me way too much, and one of the downsides is that I kind of avoid that friend in real life and at school, so they feel a little neglected and it kind of hinders our friendship.
There's kind of a pressure that if one of us doesn't respond or keep texting, we're gonna not talk again.
I've had a friend contact me too much to the point where I've asked them to give me some boundaries and some space. I would usually tell them in a respectful manner.
Over text, you either just flat out say it or you kind of ghost them.
I used to have a friendship where we would text nonstop. We would get to the point where we get irritated with one another. That was nonstop, where you at, where you at, where you at, what are you doing, what are you doing, why are you not hanging out with me, why are you not that? It got to the point where leave me alone.
Sometimes we could be too much part of each other's lives, and it's not really good because we're kind of taken away from our own lives because we're constantly looking at theirs.
In the beginning, some people don't understand boundaries. I would have to constantly communicate to them that I have my boundaries, even through online, through social media. I don't find it as much as a problem because I've practiced it and I've learned to get better at it.
I do believe that technology leads to boundary issues. I feel like technology has created a sense of a really tight-knitted community, but in a way it's too tight.
I feel that when we have conversations online, it kind of takes away the magic from talking face to face.
It definitely can get a little overwhelming, and it makes it difficult to hold conversations in real life because you talk about everything over social media or through your phones. And then if we do talk about something, it's normally like social media related, or we have to like pull out our phones to talk about it, so you don't really get to be in the moment with your friend because you're on your phone.
Have any of you had that issue, maybe having to set a boundary with someone because they're trying to contact you too much, or it just becomes overwhelming, their 24/7 access to you, maybe via texting or social media? Okay. So yeah, like what can be a positive can also be a con, right? And I think that's really true in life. Anything that has a pro, there can be a downside. Anything that's, this is going to be so great, like careful, there's always a balance, right? That has to be striked. And I do think that the access that we have now to each other and stuff, which is great in some ways, like you said, you're not just limited to when you're at school, you know, any time of day on the weekends. You can have contact with one another, but sometimes it's too invasive, right? Or if they're contacting you too much or getting too invasive into things. Anybody find it easier to deliver bad news through text? This can be positive or negative, right? Sometimes then it makes it easier if you have to deliver bad news or put a boundary to do it via text, not have to do it face to face. That can be really hard. But also I think people get mean, right? So think about social media, think about social media trolls, right? When they're rude and they're super negative. Let's be honest, it's a lot easier to hide behind my screen and say something that's blunt or maybe not as nice than if I delivered it to your face, right? I might be a little bit more tactful. I might be a little bit more kind in the way I do, or I might not do it at all. So again, where it can be helpful for delivering messages, it also can lead to maybe being too harsh and too emboldened, right? Because we can kind of hide behind the screen. So it's another good example of where it can be a pro and a con. All right, let's take a look at the assignment. So for the assignment, you're going to access the Google Doc. Okay, so go ahead. You should be in Canvas with me. All right, go ahead and click on the Friendship and Boundaries outline handout, and you're going to make a copy. So once you have that open, we're going to save this to our Google Drive. Okay, so remember you were supposed to make a folder. So let me show you really quick how to do that again. So you click on new folder, and I would just put like junior studies, or you could put JS, you know, whatever you want to label it. Okay, you check mark it, move it here. And then that way, any assignments we do for class, right, you can save them to one folder, and then you can always go back and find them. So it just helps so that your Google Drive isn't just documents, right? You want it organized, just like a file cabinet, okay? It really does help. Then you're going to make it shareable. So you go over in the right-hand corner, share, okay? You're going to click on the restricted, and you're going to put anyone with the link. And that way, when you submit it, I am able to grade it. It'll open for me. All right, so give me a thumbs up once you have it open, you saved it, and you've made it shareable. Awesome, okay. So let's go back over here really quick. If you prefer to do it by hand, you can always print this off. So they have instructions down here. And really the rest of what's on here is just about submitting, okay? Submitting, so you just upload it. And then here's the rubrics for the assignment, okay? So let's go back over to the document, all right? And basically everything we need to know to do the assignment is going to be within the document. So part one, directions. You're going to read and watch. So this is going to be a read. This is going to be a watch, okay? You're going to read and watch the sources below. As you review it, track what the sources say about quality relationships and whether you agree. Capture your thoughts in the section. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put like number 1 right here, and then number 2 here. So this one is a read. So it's Snapchat streaks, fostering friendships or forcing communication. And then the second one is healthy versus unhealthy relationships. And it's a short video. Okay. And you just click on it. All right. So you review each. So it says it's about a 3-minute read, 2-minute video. Okay. And you're going to put, I would say, at least 3 main points. Okay. What does the source say about quality relationships? So pull out maybe a few things from the article that define or would qualify as a quality relationship. Then, do you agree with the key points? Do you agree with what they feel makes a quality relationship? Is that true for you, or do you differ? So yes, I agree, here's why, or no, I believe this is what makes a quality relationship. So you can agree or disagree and say why. Then same thing here. I would do about 3 kind of different bullet points. What does the source say about quality relationships? And then again, do you agree or disagree, and say why? Okay, any questions on part 1? So you're going to do both sources, 1 and 2, and you fill out the chart. So give me a thumbs up if you're good. Yes, so when you do the shareable button, just say anyone with the link. Don't actually add my name, because if you add my name, then it emails it to me and then it fills up my email box. So yeah, when you do the shareable, all you want to do is just anyone with the link. So that way when you submit it, I can open it, because I just need to be able to view it. Okay. All right, we're good. All right, let's keep going. We're going to scroll down. Friendships and boundaries. Okay. Review the scenario below and use the feelings and options steps to brainstorm possible strategies to navigate a potentially unhealthy relationship. So the feelings and strategies, this was that PowerPoint slide that we saw on the last page, the identify, feel, imagine, say. Okay, so you can open that up and refer to it. And then here's the scenario. Okay, so I'll read the scenario with you. We'll go over the questions and then you'll have some time to work. All right, so the scenario is, oh, if that'll go away. Okay, Jason's classmate Tim has started texting Jason a lot every day. Jason and Tim were friendly, and Jason has always liked Tim. At first, Jason was happy to be talking to Tim outside of school, but Tim was having a hard time. Tim's parents are fighting a lot. Tim's life at home has gotten really stressful. Jason wanted to be kind and supportive and always tried to when Tim texts. Recently, the texts have become overwhelming for Jason. Jason cared about Tim and didn't want to make his situation any worse by not having a good friend. Jason was also worried about Tim's mental health. At the same time, the texts feel burdensome. They're starting to take a toll. Jason thought he needed to set some boundaries, but he wasn't sure how and didn't want to make things harder for Tim. This sounds pretty relatable, right? Maybe you've had a friend who's going through a hard time, who needs a lot of support, but maybe sometimes those texts get really heavy and the support is constant. Anybody ever been in that situation? I've been in that situation, a friend going through a divorce. And it was really hard and I felt really bad, but it did get to a point sometimes where it was so heavy, I would feel like I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. It was constant, you know. Anybody been there before? And it doesn't mean you don't care about them, but sometimes it is just really heavy and it becomes overwhelming when they constantly need help. Yes. Yes, and give them time. But also if they're constantly, you didn't pick up my phone call, you didn't, and you're just like, I'm trying to do my life, you know, it is a fine line, right? You don't want to hurt them, but you're having a hard time kind of figuring out how do I be there for them, but also not like drain myself, right? You know, and that it's not that you don't care. Sometimes it's that fine line. So identify who are the different people involved in this scenario. What dilemma or challenge are they facing? So you can put the different people. So it'd be Jason, it'd be Tim, the parents, right, that are fighting, probably Jason's family, and stuff. What do you think each person in the dilemma is feeling? How do you think Jason's feeling? Sounds like he's a really nice person. He's really trying to be there. You know, Jason wants to help and stuff like that. Tim is probably a really great guy who, when his life's not in chaos, he's probably fun to be around. That's why Jason is friends with him in the first place, right? But Tim right now is not his best self. He's having a hard time, which is understandable, but it's taking a toll on Jason, right? You know, so how's he feeling? He's probably feeling overwhelmed, scared. Are his parents going to stay together? Are they going to get divorced? What that's going to look like? Who am I going to live with? Coming home into a household where people are fighting, that's really stressful. My parents got divorced when I was like 12. And so if anyone who's been through a divorced family, right, it's super tense when you're walking into that household. It is not, I used to love being at school because when I would go home, it was more tense. So it was actually more peaceful at school until my parents got divorced because there was so much fighting. So Tim's probably going through that. Okay, list your options, and you're kind of taking this from Jason's point of view, you know, like what can he do? How would you break this up? Okay. And then how are you going to handle this? So are you going to try to do it in person, call or FaceTime, text, and then kind of what would you say? All right, so we have about 10 minutes. So why don't you take some time and at least maybe try to get at least 1 or 2 parts of this done. So kind of summarize the situation. Okay, what's the dilemma or challenge that's being faced? So in this case, it's Tim's in crisis, right? Tim is probably experiencing one of the hardest times of his life and stuff like that. And Jason's trying to be there, but Jason's holding on and Jason can't take much more. So it's like, how can we maintain Jason being a friend for Tim, but Jason also not feeling like he's drowning, you know, and that's a hard balance to strike. Okay. Again, it's not right or wrong. It's just giving thought, and the way I might solve it might be different than you. And that's okay. You know, I think what we're looking for in the responses is that you're showing the thought that's gone into it and how you came to the conclusion that you did. Okay. And obviously we would hope that there would be kindness and consideration involved in that. All right. So go ahead and work on this. Okay. We've got about 8 minutes. So get as much done as you can. Tomorrow, you'll have more time to work on this. Okay. And then we'll go over the second assignment. All right. Let me know if you have questions and stuff. So we'll work for about like 6 minutes or so, and then we'll end class. Anyone have any questions, or anybody that's new have any other questions, anything I can address while people are working? So we're working on this, okay? So we read through it, start doing the identify and the feel section, get as much of that done as you can. And I would say at least a couple sentences for each section. If you want to score well, a couple sentences for each section is what I'm looking at. You can also go back up and you could do these 2 sources if you want. It sounds like you could probably get them done before the bell. So if you want to fill out this part, you could also do that. It's blocked by Go Guardian. Okay, because I'm not using Go Guardian this morning. Let me try putting it in the chat. Are you talking about the article, this one? Right, it does take it a minute to open. I had this issue this morning. But if I can get it to open, I can just put it here on the page, and then you can read it from here if you can't get it to open in Go Guardian. Because I don't have Go Guardian open. So another teacher must be running it in your name, isn't it? Okay. Snapchat streaks, fostering friendships, or forcing communication. All right. Let me know when you want me to scroll down. Okay. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Yes, it is a tool to try to keep y'all on track, right, and stuff. But yes, it can be annoying. All right, let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let me know when you want me to scroll down. So this is the first article. So if you want to skim through this, let me know, and then I'll scroll down. Is the video blocked? Or just the article? Okay, I'll scroll down the article a little bit. The link, okay, but to what? To the article or to the video? Or the one I put in the chat, to the article? It's the Go Guardian, I think, that's blocking it here. I will message. Not much I can do about it in class. I'll message the project facilitator and see if I can get it blocked. And stuff after school hours, it should open and stuff because the Go Guardians will be closed. So but I'll message them to hopefully we can get it unblocked so that for sure tomorrow it'll be good. Okay, there's the end of the article. So at least see if okay, so this is the reading for number 1. So at least maybe being able to get that done. I'm going to email the project facilitator. I kind of agree. The streaks is a little interesting. But, you know, some people might be motivated by it. Maybe it's a thing that, you know, kind of keeps them going each day, helps them engage. You know, you never know. So again, that's kind of the question, right? Is it fostering friendships or is it forcing communication? For me, it would be forcing communication. Sometimes like I'm more Instagram, sometimes on Instagram, like I'll post all week and then I'll go for a week without posting. Like sometimes I just don't care, you know? So for me, it would be, but some people like that's a really big connection for them or, you know, there might be something from that that really helps mental health. So I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to take down that article. I'm going to message the project facilitator as soon as we end. So hopefully we won't have problems with these links tomorrow, okay, being blocked. So try after school, hopefully, or if you log like out of, like keep this open and then maybe the links, like text them to yourself or something, because you might be able to pull up the links on your phone. Sometimes that's been a way around it, which I know is annoying, but it's one way around it. So tomorrow we'll have time in class to work on this second part, and then we will go over the second assignment beginning of class tomorrow. Okay, I hope you have a really good day. Sorry about the block stuff. There's always an issue, right? Gotta love tech stuff, okay? Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye, thank you. Thank you, Gabriel, Zoe, Ricky, Alicia, Marlene, Alexandra, Michael, Adele, Naomi, Nathaniel, thank you. Malia. Yeah, it has to be real quick just because I have another class in like 2 minutes. What can I do for you? Bye.
I was wondering if you can undo the attendance thing, because I have like recently gotten my Chromebook after we had started the online learning, and I'm still kind of like getting used to like using this Chromebook. And I recently figured out how to like work it and stuff.
Okay. So you're talking about like the attendance forms on Monday?
Yeah.
And ready? Okay. I can't excuse absences. So what you'll want to do is in Canvas, okay, you go to the announcements. And I linked NVLA absence form. So any day that you forgot to fill that out or something, you just click on the link and then you can get that submitted, okay, to get it excused.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Hi, Miss Hall. I didn't want to interrupt because I popped in when you started already. I know.
No, that's all right.
Well,